ma se resume lo todo.
Happy holidays! I've got a gift for you. Buy 4 tarot readings or coaching session gift codes in any combination, and you'll receive 2 additional gift codes too. So use all 6 codes for yourself or share them with friends and family as holiday gifts, stocking stuffers, or maybe even birthday presents. These don't expire, so you can feel free to use them and share them throughout the year. Merry Christmas, and thank you so much for being my friends. Hi there, Leo. This is your weekly reading for the week of December 21st. I wish you well. I hope you're off to a wonderful start to your holiday season, and a Merry Christmas to you and yours. On Monday, the card that you've drawn is the Ten of Pentacles, and this is a card that indicates lovely things. Obviously, it's all about a feeling of financial security, stability, having the resources that you need, and being able to care for yourself and others. This is a wonderful card as it relates to good times and good feelings around family events, kind of holidays and memorials where we think about being together or miss the people that we love. And even if those we love are not in this physical dimension, they're definitely very close to us anyway, where they are, because it's only just a thought away. So when you think of them, I promise you, they are thinking of you and blowing you kisses on the way as well. Mercury in Capricorn will sextile Chiron in Pisces. Capricorn being your solar sixth house of work, your routines, your daily habits in terms of how you take care of yourself and others, and your routines, the things that you do on a daily basis, especially as they relate to work if you are a person who is employed outside the home, or the work you do on the inside if you're a homemaker even. This sextile to Chiron in Pisces is your solar eighth house, and this is wonderful because there could be money coming into you more steadily. Maybe you've gotten an increase that was delayed, or maybe there's a period of unemployment that has been somewhat crippling to your self-esteem, especially if you've been looking. And now that it seems that those potentials are here, they're actually manifesting what it is that you need. Sometimes we see this card with people who've been engaged in creative work for a long time after a hiatus from their day jobs, as it were, and then they go back to the work that is fulfilling because it's reliable, because it's on a schedule, because the paycheck shows up every 2 weeks or whatever the pay schedule is. And so this tends to make people feel more grounded. They feel more secure. They could have the world just shaking, rattling, and rolling, and then that paycheck comes in. They're like, good, I've got this to shoot for. I feel good about that. So if you've been involved in anything creative, that's wonderful to keep your creative pursuits happy, alive, fun, fulfilling, having extra income to meet your regular expenses like your housing and your food and your utilities and these things. Of course, then you could plan on the time that you're going to work so that you can get some extra money to pay for the things that you like doing. your side job, your creative talent, whatever it is that you do is very highlighted as well, because Neptune in Pisces also gives way to the dream world. But I like to think of it in terms of creativity in the eighth house, where it is for you, because that's where you can actually turn it into something that makes money. You'll have to pay taxes on this. It always seems very likely that we have to report quarterly taxes, or that the IRS is aware of what our earnings are. But, you know, in time, you could figure out what are the better tax brackets, or you get to the next tax level, perhaps, but you've got enough expenses, or you're right there in that little area where your accountant knows how to bump you back down, or, you know, one way to another. They know what to do with what you're doing. So keep at it, because this is a very good sign. The sun enters Capricorn, that solar sixth house for you. And this is really great because it will put a nice big spotlight and illumination on this area. So take care of your body and your spirit and your mind. Do things that feel satisfying. You're not a morning person, but you have to be up at 5. Make it a morning thing for you that you love. Wake up, you're quiet, you shuffle around, you get the water boiling for the tea. You turn on some gentle tunes. Maybe you create a playlist, and before you know it, you're singing Chandelier. You know, so there are plenty of things you could do to help motivate yourself, but I think you're going to feel good about what you're doing anyway. Once we see people that are really activating this sixth house, especially for those of you Leo rising, because this will be more appropriate for you. This is really where they get to shaking and making all kinds of things happen. They say, I'm not a morning person, I'm going to dance while I'm getting ready. And then they seem to make more money as a result, all because they're having a better attitude, or they've decided that this is the way they're going to shake off the blues. You know, it reminds me of when I get up some days and I'm like, seriously, you know, 6:45, got to get breakfast going. And at that point, I'm late. And I have to tell myself, I move around and kind of like an old vintage Model T, you know, I need some big fat black axle grease, because it's not going to, you know, just a spray on lube won't do it for these belts, and you'll see it feels so much better. Also, this is the beginning of the winter solstice, as well as Mars in Libra, your solar third house of communication and short distance journeys, errands, internet, mail, you know, the things that you're doing to communicate, is going to semi-sextile Jupiter in Virgo, your solar second house. So again, something that you're saying or doing, maybe there's a few of you that are still trying to find some jobs, and you're like, who's going to hire me now? Well, show up at Walmart, because it's probably going to get crazy and crazier. And you could get a job, you know, stocking the shelves at some funky hour, and say to yourself, this is ridiculous. And look I get to see the people of Walmart almost immediately every day. So this can actually help you. Something that you do that might put you in contact with people that are buying second house items, which are the possessions, the underwear, the socks, the chifforobe, the rice cooker, you know, all of that happening might be especially fortunate for you. So those of you that are working in contact with people, or stocking or filling boxes, or filling orders for the Walmart beauty box, or for whatever, just put it in the box, throw tape over it. That's going to be lucky for you, Leo, especially Leo rising. And if you're doing it and you've got packing tape in one hand, go do it some more, because it actually becomes more and more fortunate for you. And you might be like, I don't care if that was temporary, because that was crazy. I secretly captured photos of several men in thongs. Just kidding. Don't do it. You could get in trouble at work, or at least don't get caught. 6 of Cups in reverse for Tuesday. This is giving us the idea with the moon in Gemini that you might be a little, just a tiny bit, melancholy, longing for some friendship or love from the past. For most people, it's going to be thinking about childhood in a week like Christmas, right? This could be Hanukkah. This could be Kwanzaa. Who cares? It's all the same. We're all happy, loving, shiny people. And we really don't care what our own belief systems are. As long as other people let us have ours, they have theirs, and we get to wave hi and smile where appropriate, because in some countries, isn't it Japan, if you show your teeth, it's considered offensive, or it used to be. Maybe it still is, because I don't see a whole lot of Japanese emoji girls, you know, showing all of their pearly whites, but some of them do. 6 of Cups in reverse could have some of us feeling a little nostalgic for our siblings, We could be missing what it was like when we were children. I could totally see my Leo brother not admitting to thinking of me and our eldest brother, but he would be thinking of us anyway. I know he's thinking about me now. Hi, Aline. I'm sure he's going to not admit to having listened to this. Anyway, so thinking about these things is great. Don't get stuck in the melancholy. Think about it. And even if it's a friendship from days gone by where you say, wonder why that person doesn't talk to me anymore. Just consider that their life has changed in some way, and or they're just really busy and focused. I do that. I will focus to the point where I don't even get any sleep. Look at the hour. I'm still awake. And brush my teeth at very odd hours and intervals. So this could be where we think about these people, these people that make us sing the songs like Auld Lang Syne or Bonnie songs, thinking about the things that used to feel sweet and innocent at the time. So often before, we're conditioned to see the world in all of its harsh pixelation, HD, skin pores, wrinkles, and nose hair. I just don't want to ever own one of those. I don't really want to see what people think they want to see. I would rather just go, oh, look it through my cataract vision. Everybody, this beautiful. On Wednesday, we've got the World card, which is great for you because it's also indicating that there is a coming of full circle. The idea of a season of your life coming together, wrapping up now, not just in terms of the calendar system you use, whether you're thinking about this life or many lives or just Julian calendar days. This is about a big segment of your experience is summing itself up without any intervention. No need to create the momentum. No need to stop it when it's done, like the end of a roll of magic tape where you have to stop yourself from scratching, looking for the last little piece. So let these things wrap themselves up because the universe is showing you that with every end of a cycle comes a new one. This is the beginning of the winter cycle where we have to face the reality. Even if you do things like I do, go outside in a sarong, a bikini, flip-flops, and it's snowing, and I just did that yesterday. So I don't want to believe that it's actually happening, and it's also my tiny rebellion. I have to do that or I don't feel good about myself. I feel old if I don't. Thursday, we've got the moon card in reverse, and this is great on Christmas Eve. It's showing me that you're able to see past the illusions that were. I think this is similar to the ghosts of Christmas past, but not so scary and obviously not so focused on what could be underneath, Scrooge's dressing gown. I don't even like to think about it. He just looks so hairy in every movie and every kind of artistic depiction of him. But this is where we start to see, it really is lovely. I don't have to have a bunch of money. I don't have to feel bad if I don't look like Jennifer Lawrence. It doesn't matter because the experience is what's beautiful. Even if we can't afford to buy each other luxurious gifts, it's not about the gifts anyway. That's, part of the American culture, like it is in a lot of countries where money just gets dumped into the crap that you got to put. And then where do you put it? Do you put it in the box? Do you show it? Do you have to dust it now? What do you do with it? To me, it really doesn't mean anything anymore because it's very hard to catch my interest. Very odd and expensive things get my interest, and I'm not interested in being a slave to something shiny. So that might be right where you realize the person next to me or the fur creature, my fur baby next to me, is what love is what the season is all about, what the spirit of the joyous occasions are about. Even when we think that not every culture even recognizes that Jesus is the guy walking around, Yeshua, Yahweh, whatever you want to call him, it's fine, bro, homeboy, he loves us very much. And regardless of what way we've been conditioned to believe or not believe, discard or over-include, we can know that there was a person whose stories persist, if nothing else. And he walked around teaching peaceful things, loving things, gentle things, never, ever angry, cruel, vindictive, or judgmental things. He judged no one. If anyone was judged, it was by the universe, if you will, the Father, whatever creation, force, rings your bell, and strikes a chord. But this is where you're really feeling it now. And there might have been a time not too long ago where you were thinking you'd never pull yourself out of this dark pot of despair, and it wasn't a good color on you. Might have made a really nice emo lipstick, but going into that kind of darkness, I'm a Scorpio, and I don't suggest everybody go playing there. I don't even play there for very long. I pull my Virgo rising butt out of there, and I try to make sense of it. I then quantify it, designate it as one thing or another, and put it into file folders in my head, and I slap myself when I pull any of those difficult memories out for too long. We could look at them and go, oh God, glad that's over. Venus in Scorpio here will also sextile Jupiter in Virgo, Scorpio being again that solar fourth house of home and family and foundation and the tradition of your parents and those that you've created on your own, or if you never knew your birth parents, the traditions that you adopted through other people. The sextile to Jupiter and Virgo, again with that second house, you could receive a gift from someone that you love very much, and they could send you a token gift that reminds you of childhood. Maybe your favorite thing was always a strawberry lip smacker, and somebody loves you and remembers that that's something that would actually get you to giggle and could bring you back to sweet times. Or you remember the scent of the baby lotion your mother would rub on your arms and legs, or Noxema like my mom did, because I was always turning red and getting burned in the sun. And so she was always doing her thing. And those scents remind me. I even have a wonderful fourth house association with the scent of Vicks Vapo Rub. And I remember that my dad, when I was really sick and I had pneumonia, he was the one. I was on my tummy. I really remember being very weak, and he was so concerned. He sat on the edge of the bed and he gently put the Vicks Vapor Rub under my shirt. And then I heard him whisper something to the effect of, or in reference to one of his favorite patron saints, Saint Lazarus, and he said something like Lázaro cojone, which really would have been somewhat vulgar, but I know it was so important for him to actually look at me and put this medicine on me. And I think that he didn't realize he was healing me at the same time. I remember very quickly, if not within a day or two, running around and scaring my mother to death, and shortly thereafter my brother throwing a screwdriver into my ankle. So I must have been feeling good enough to jump around and make him go crazy. He was actually playing with it like, kids used to throw screwdrivers to make them stick. And he said, don't jump around here. Don't jump around here. And Rita jumped around here. So this is really great too, because this feeling of expansiveness doesn't necessarily have to be attached to material possessions, because it also could be where you say to yourself, it doesn't matter. I close my eyes or I look at this photo of my dad and everything seems okay. I don't feel alone. I know he's with me. And you might get some confirmation. Don't be surprised. Jupiter has a tendency to do that when we're talking about dead people. They love to show up at a moment where we're thinking about the bigness of it all, the expansiveness, that just understanding our presence here in this place at this time might mean. They like to point, hey, how you doing? Also, we have to remember that the Gemini moon is void, of course, from about 9:26. Oh man, now I don't remember if it's AM or PM. I think that was PM. So shopping for a last minute whatever is probably going to be more frustrating on Christmas Eve than it's worth. Let's not make these people work any more than they have to. I'd rather know that everybody is loitering at Walmart and that I don't make my mother have to go do something, or somebody has to check something through. If you're going to make people work on Christmas, then I don't want to tax them, and I'm probably going to lose crap on the way anyway. And also we have Uranus stationary in Aries, which is your solar ninth house. So, for a minute you can stop thinking about the real meaning of philosophies you've yet to corroborate with some life experience. It's just okay to exist in the present and to just feel the expansiveness of being present right now. Means if you want to go meditate in a cave, you do that. Do whatever makes you feel good. Do whatever makes you happy. But you don't have to worry about dotting the I's and crossing the T's when it comes to the spiritual and the divine. None of us are walking around with all the answers. Many of us have answers and pieces of puzzles. And we get together, we hold hands, and we can see how things come together. But you don't have to sit there suffering over what it's supposed to mean, because that's supposed to be Uranus stationary right there. Is supposed to make us feel like we don't know what it is, but it feels good. It's almost like that excitement where you can't sleep before you go to Disneyland when you were a kid, or you knew you had access to multiple e-tickets because your brother was a chicken or something, and you knew that meant you could take a few good rides. And at the time when I was little, it was actually e-tickets all the way. On Friday for Christmas, we have the devil card. Don't be scared. This is a good thing. I believe that this is where you successfully identify what materialism, what the basic instincts are, what the primitive inclinations are, all the things that are really attached to this physical and real world, to call it something, and the gifts and everything obviously socially attached, the connotation of Christmas and material possessions and items, what it's become. I'm the type of person that, okay, so at least once I was given a Bissell little mean green machine kind of thing. I remember thinking I could totally understand where my husband was coming from, and I liked it because I wanted that. But then I thought how unromantic it was, and then he surprised me. I don't remember if it was the same year, my ex-husband. Probably one of the nicest things he did before he's completely lost his freaking mind. He knew I never got a Barbie dream house when I was a little girl. I remember my parents couldn't afford it, but I had gotten so many different things that I really wanted. One year, it was Baby Alive and a tiny kitchen table with 4 chairs. My brother will remember that. And I was the recipient of all the blue chip stamps. And one year, I bought traded them for this little cash register, and I had so many hours of fun. But I remember that the Barbie dream house, townhouse thing, when I was a kid, it was about $80 at Sears. Pretty sure. That's a lot of money then. A lot. And I remember knowing that that was a lot. Maybe my mother properly conditioned words in the environment. Like, wow, it's so expensive, but look at these other things. The way we might tell a child, like, hey, we can't afford that. But I got so many nice things, or so many things that I got, which we didn't get a lot of Christmas presents, but we got the ones we wanted. I don't even know. My dad worked so hard. He always worked a full-time job and at least one part-time job, excluding his recycling habits and repairing small appliances and other things and doing odd jobs around. When was my dad not working? Hardly ever. That was bad for the marriage, let me tell you. But my mother was like the mastermind at finances, and she was just so good at everything. She did too. So here with the devil, I think you finally realize that the danger is in the temptation to go sliding into the slippery birth canal of the material world, where we're born into this world pure and clean, and then we're examined and given the blessing of a good health grade, hopefully, and then put to the mother's breast. And we don't need anything. She's everything. And then as we get older, of course, we need a husband, need this, need a wife, and all the other things that are wonderful. And we then lose sight of the foundation, the real building blocks of life, the ones that can withstand anything, even a 7.0 on the Richter scale or more. For those of you from my part of the world, you know what I'm talking about. And when we lose sight of this, and we have to have the car that we identify with the logo, because if I don't have that Mercedes-Benz, I am not important. Now, if you tell me, hey, look, Rita, you don't get it. I mean, there's a few cars that, like a vintage convertible Mercedes, I can't remember the year, but it would have been the late 70s. I just thought it was a beautiful vehicle, and it seemed so old lady fancy-like. No offense to old ladies. I'm one of you. But I don't need a thing to tell me I'm important. I don't want a diamond or a stone to tell me I'm loved. I could tell when people love me. They don't have to give anything to me. We know we love each other because we do. And as much as I love gifts as much as the next person, we know we don't need them. I'm not a person, you're never going to come to my house and look in my closet and see anything expensive. I can tell you where it all came from, and you would crap your pants probably, because a lot of it is from the thrift stores. And so I have no issue with it, because it's just been, my budget, my ability, and to protect my children and to give them what they needed. I don't even care. You know what I mean? My son kept asking me, Monty would call me and say, is there something you want? Something you want? Mom, I figured out I'm going to have more room on this paycheck. And I'm like, no. So then he rephrased his question, because he's so smart. He said, does the house need anything? As if it were a living, breathing thing, which is just part of the conditioning I've given them so that they could always be empathetic in every way possible, including to the toilet paper roll. I have to reinstall this thing over there. And my son was like, but the house needs you to fix it. It's crying out for attention. And I'm like, oh, Rita, you did that. So I told him I didn't need anything. I just love him. And then he came over the other day. He had some presents that he gave prematurely to his brothers. Then he knocked on my door very gently. And he looked at me and he tucked his head in my neck. And he's like 6'1", and I'm just 5'2 3/4. And then he started to shudder, and he said, oh, it's going to make me cry. He said, I'm so happy that we've been able to get the kids nice things and that we can make Christmas happy. And I, of course, burst into tears. I said, please don't make me cry. And I said, you have made Christmas wonderful every year. You protected us and put us under a roof. You keep us warm. You keep us clothed. You take care of all of these things. I said, I'm proud of you. And I had to really make sure I impress upon him that I love him and I think of him every single day, multiple times a day. I'm so proud of him. That's the real meaning of what the devil is telling us to stay at, where to stay at. The devil is a card that says what's really important. The love you have for your child or children. Maybe you never had children. And you love the ones that come visit your door, bang, trick-or-treating and smelly feeding and crazy little creatures that walk down the street, or the children and teenagers we see, young people, when we drive down a road and think, why is that person out there? Why is that person out there? I want to know why they're there. I want to ask them if they're okay. That's the love that comes from the gift of being an empathetic and caring human. So I really want to make sure that you don't come away with any negative connotation of this, because if you're one of these people that I could never buy anything that would satisfy you, because if I bought you a bag and it was an knockoff of something cute, I might see you sniffing the leather and biting the hardware and looking for the feet and double checking where the labels are. And I'd be thinking, what the hell? I thought you're just supposed to say thank you. You know, that's when we know people have really lost it. If you can remember to do something nice for somebody else, not about a gift. If you could just remember to reach out and say, you know, I'm thinking of you and I love you. That is the greatest gift of all. My sister-in-law, hi, Patricia. I love her. If I could see her, I think I would, of course, burst into tears, and then I'd want to kiss her face, because she's got a kissy face. But she sent me for my birthday some charms for that locket I told you guys about, my origami owl, that I never had time to show you guys images of it because I got so busy and then I wasn't feeling well. And anyway, she sent me this tiny packet, somewhat apologetically, she had some words in there. And I was like, how is it that this girl figures out what I like? And, you know, she could only know what my brother tells her. She could only know what she knows about me. But there are things that she does not know and can't know because nobody would have known these things. And then she seems to match up these items, which to me, they're very valuable. They come from her and they're a very high quality product, you know, but she picked them out and I was looking at this going, oh my God. And this chick gets the fortune cookie thing right and puts it in the packet. And that's the kind of thing we're talking about, right? I've always said, even when, you know, a boyfriend or one of my various husbands would say they wanted to do something for me, but they couldn't afford to do this or that. The presents that have meant the most for me were when, like, my ex-husband drew pictures for me, made things for me. My first husband he was able to really utilize money because he was good at making it and good at investing it. And my favorite thing is when he would intently study some stone or piece of jewelry or whatever, but making sure it was very unusual and unique. I knew that he was putting himself into these stones, which were often very difficult to get and that kind of thing. So I hope my little sermon doesn't bore you, but no matter what your condition, even if you're like Rita, how you were homeless a year ago, well, I'm in that situation. I'll pray for you. Write me a message here on YouTube. Let me pray for you. I pray for everybody anyway. I pray for people who don't want to be prayed for. I just, it's just sending love and sweetness to them. Like if you could see a person that needs a hug, you'd like to first just hug them, but you say, "Can I hug you?" And they usually respond really well. So with that said, just know the devil's not a bad thing. In fact, I had to get over the color of the skin on the devil here because I just don't like it. But the truth is, he is telling us to remember to be good and solid all on your own. What you look like doesn't define you. Maybe what you smell like does. Be nice and fresh and clean, right? Have $1 million smile like my sister-in-law, Patricia. That's like, she was supposed to be, to me, I look at her and go, she's supposed to be Flo from those Progressive Auto Insurance. She's got that smile. So think of your smile and how many people love to see it. She took a photo of herself excited about something related to her gig. And I looked at her and I thought, she's beautiful. It's coming out. It's showing up. It's bubbling right out from her. And I don't even know she realizes it. I think she was making a comment about her nose and it escaped me. And I had to go back later and say, what happened to her nose? I thought maybe she hurt herself or allergies or whatever. And I'm like, she's beautiful. Just sitting there. Because it's her beauty on the outside, it's true. But the beauty on the inside is like the most beautiful, illuminating foundation primer ever and ever. So don't worry about the devil too much. I just want you to know, if you get somebody who comes by and they're like bragging about what thing they bought or, oh, we had plenty of extra money and so I'd be thinking, go buy more toilet paper because you shit a lot. You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of crap all the time. On Saturday, we've got the Page of Pentacles, and this is great because we're coming off the energy of a distracted day anyway. Christmas Day is always one thing or another. If your families live far away, you end up Skyping or doing whatever it is that you can do. But we have the full moon in Cancer at 3 degrees, which will make Cancer rising, Cancer sun signs, and other people with lots of placements in Cancer feel a little sensitive, if not emotional. It will trine with Neptune. And this is good because it could really help to clarify some of the feelings of frustration that inadvertently build up. I was kind of irritated. Was it early today? I was looking for a screen protector for something I bought my kid. And I'm like, frickin' A, there's like 6 different versions. And these say they're new, but they're not. They're wrong. That's the wrong one. They say they're new. It's not. And I was like, forget it, because I needed to get to work. And he was like, sorry, mama. So anyway, this Neptune will help clear up the air with any little irritations that have been present. Mercury will semi-square Neptune, so Mercury in Capricorn, your solar 6th house of work, semi-squaring Neptune, where, if you have to work with people that already are kind of like, or they're always the ones that are pissed off to be there, and we're like, damn, I just want my paycheck. Maybe I could go get something too, so and get some bills paid, get some things done so that I can plan for a fantastic year. And they're the ones that are like, yeah, whatever, this sucks. And I'm thinking, wow, I know a bunch of people working in those like medical implement to, oh boy, that's a whole nother story for another day. But anyway, these difficult conditions in Pakistan, that part of the world. And look, they're on the floor. They don't even have seating. They don't look like they have a gorgeous lavatory with a nursing station. Okay, I didn't see any vending machines. I think the rest of us don't have to bitch about whether or not the water is cold enough, or is it distilled, or is it tap water. We could bitch so much all day long. Anyway, so Mercury in Capricorn doing that will help to dispel any myths. You know, if anybody thinks that you're not happy to be there and you're like partying and you got your jingle bell earrings on, you're good to go. Mercury in Capricorn will trine Jupiter in Virgo as well. And that helps us flow right through expressing ourselves. The people we come in contact that we could say it's great working for you. We have so much fun here. I've only been here a few weeks or 15 freaking years, and it's fun every day. Your face makes me laugh, and just smile and love each other. Also, we will have Uranus direct in Aries, and then we got that momentum that will be building up. Venus in Scorpio will also sextile the North Node in Virgo, which will help us work again with the financial part of it, the merchandise, the objects, the things you buy, what you need to buy. Maybe you need a pair of work boots. Maybe you need something new like this. And it could come to you in a little bit of an unusual way. It could actually come to you through a person that you work with or your partner. If this is related to a partner, a gift could come to you or to your partner, and it might be something you actually needed and were going to buy on your own. So the fourth house is something that could be designed for your home. Like somebody says, no, these are the best filters for your water ever, and they give it to you, you're like, dang, that rocks, that's nice, I wanted one. And so this could also help you make sense of what really matters, because you'll be like, wow, see, at least this time we didn't end up spending $500 in C's candy to people, and we really don't need to eat that much sugar anyway. I'd feel guilty about it, although everybody loves to get a box of chocolates at the house. And here on Sunday, we've got the Four of Pentacles in reverse, and this is great. You can relax, you can take a break, you can release, and you can realize that now you can just enjoy the rest of the year, winding up, going out, slowly wrapping up its entire section of a mini history for you, Leo, because you've really been through a lot. I know that this year is kind of like, wow, is any more of this stuff going to fly at me from the corners? If I go to the bathroom, something going to grab my ankle? You know, you may have been feeling that way, but I promise you, my friend, I love you, and it is over. Have a wonderful year end.